And welcome. The title of this video says the biggest haul of the year. Now the context of course is that as of this week we are in this pandemic for exactly 1 year. Most of the time the stores have been closed, and this also goes of course for the thrift stores. Since a few weeks in the Netherlands, what you can do is you can reserve a time slot to shop in those stores because they are slowly opening up again. They are controlling the amount of customers that are in the shop, so they'll have maybe 10 or 20 people for half an hour, and yesterday I was one of those people having the time, 30 minutes to shop. And what I did in the thrift store was to go to the music, cassettes, CD, LP division and see what is there. So I picked up this stack and there's some very interesting things in here that I'm very happy with. Let's start at the top. So I have two cassettes that I got. Let's start with the first one. This is classical music. This is Tchaikovsky, and a great pianist is Martha Argerich. This is on the label of Deutsche Grammophon. They more or less always make great recordings. The state of this cassette is okay. It's not the best anymore, but I've played it and it is more than well enough to be played. So I enjoyed this last night. Have a look at the side. So this is Tchaikovsky's Piano Concerto number 1. Over here you can see the cassettes, and if you want to read the J card you have to turn it around, and now you can see what is on Seite 1 und Seite 2, side 1, side 2. Let me take out the cassette. As you can see, there's some damages in the lettering, but the state of the cassette is still pretty good. It doesn't look like it has been rolled out of it and got stuck in some cassette player. Still pretty good. So I am very happy with this one. Another one is this, The Kids from Fame. Now you have to understand that I grew up on this television series and I watched it every time it was on because I really loved this. I already was into music at that time. So this has also a lot of emotional value. The state of the cassette is pretty good. Here you can see the programming on the cassette. And if I open it, here you see side 1 and side 2, still pretty good as you can see. And if we look at the J card, this still is in a very nice condition. Let me compare that. I wanted to show you this, but I forgot. If I compare it to this J card, you can see this has been to the ringer. So this is not looking very good anymore. So The Kids from Fame. And I played it last night and it still sounds actually very good. So I'm happy with this one. And we have the next one, over to the CDs. Here's a little bit of Michael Jackson, special edition, Dangerous. Not his best CD if you ask me, but there are some nice songs on here. Remember the Time, Dangerous. So not his very best CD, but if you want to give your system a little workout, this is perfectly done. So this one, if you look at the state of the box, this has been in storage in a very bad way. It's like molding or whatever it is on this. So let me change that. Okay, so this is much better. As you can see, now it is shiny again. I had to keep this one because you always want to have some of these empty shells, but this one is closed and this part is transparent. So this is still from the original CD, but now you can see the artwork much better. And these are the little things. And now for maybe $1, and I got all these, a box of 100 for I believe $6. So that is a very minor investment to clean up your CDs. Go to the next one. This is one that people who follow me for a longer time, they know I have this CD already. This is of course Bjork. This is Debut, which is one of my favorite albums of her. This is also her first album when she went solo. And the reason I picked these up, this was 75 cents. So if I see one of these, I pick them up, because my original one that I still have from when I bought it way back when this was released in, let's see, 1993. When it came out, this album, I bought it, and I still have the original one that I bought in 1993. But it might get damaged, it might get lost, or if there's someone here that hears Björk for the first time on my album and is amazed by it, I like to have some copies just to give away. And for 75 cents, that is a good thing. So this was one that I found. Now these were $2, so a little bit more expensive, relative of course, but most of these are 75 cents. But these are the CDs that you more or less never, at least not here, never find in the thrift stores. This is Decoy from Miles Davis. Now of course Kind of Blue is one of my favorite albums of Miles Davis, and I'm definitely not a Miles Davis fan in the sense that I like all of his albums. This is also a little bit more of a difficult album, but here you can see the songs. If you look, for example, the song That's Right, that's something that is very playable. You can play it loud, that makes it even better. The rest is a little bit more difficult. Some of you will absolutely like it. For me, when I'm in the right mood, I could listen to this whole CD. And it just doesn't happen very often that I am in the right mood. But this is beautiful artwork. I like this picture very much. There is just a little bit of information, some of his artwork, and that's actually it. That's all that you get in this. But to have a Miles Davis, an original, and I looked it up, one of the stores right now is selling this one new for 33 euros. Now you can also find it for 8 euros and 9, but there's someone still out there who thinks he can sell this very same CD new for 33 euros, and I paid 2. So very happy with that one. Getting into some classical music. I like classical music, I like opera, I like singers like Anne-Sophie von Otter. This is very well recorded. I've listened to it, and I always, when I buy a stack of these things in a thrift store, the first thing I do when I get at home is to give a short listen to them, all of them, to see if none of the CDs are damaged or scratched. I mean, I picked up a lot more yesterday in the thrift store, and when I do, I always pick them out. Okay, I like this one, I like this one, I like this one, and then I take some time to check if the CD itself is in a good condition. And a lot of the classical CDs are either maintained very well, especially when people have bought these original, they were mostly a lot more expensive. So most of the times they look like they have never been played. So this one is also very, very clean. And the interesting thing is, let me get this out. They have this little booklet, which is small, but this is from that very, very thin paper. Feels like rice paper, and this gives them the opportunity to give you a lot of pages, a lot of information. All the lyrics from all the songs are in here, and still, even though this is a lot of pages, it is a small booklet that will fit in the jewel case of the CD. So very happy with that one. Now this is a CD from Naxos. I told you before, actually whenever I when I go there and find cheap classical CDs from this label, I'll just pick it up. That's something that started to grow, and now I'm trying to get as much of them as possible just for fun. This was 50 cents, so this is not an expensive hobby. And the thing with Naxos is that they make good recordings, but the way they kept their production cheap, and therefore they could sell them a bit cheaper, which means a lot of people pick them up because they were cheap, maybe never listened to them, and then they will end up in a thrift store in perfect condition. Look, this thing still looks like new. If you look at the CD itself, this is really, really very clean. And the reason they could keep these a little bit cheaper is that they do the big Paganini and the Mozart, all the usual music, but not with the expensive performance. So these are mostly the less known performers, not bad, but just less known. That's why things are cheaper, and that's how Naxos did their business. This is music for violin and guitar, so this is an interesting combination. Not a CD that I will play very often, but every now and then something like that just does it for me. Some more from Naxos, in this case a compilation. It's called Für Elise, the best of romantic piano music. So this is just a compilation of all the famous pieces of Satie, the Troisième Gymnopédie, Debussy, Clair de Lune. These are stuff that you know. Even if you don't know that you know them, you have heard these pieces. And now I have them on one CD. This is something that you could play on a Sunday morning just perfectly. Another Naxos find, Wagner, opera. So this is a pretty good recording. Every now and then I like to listen to big choirs. And going on to the last three, here's one. This is Van Morrison. Of course, everybody knows this. This is something that in the thrift stores here in the Netherlands, here in Rotterdam, and especially in these are some of the things that you don't see often. It's always the cheap Mantovanis, and well, you know what I mean. But this one, and I like this kind of artwork, not too much fuzz. This is just like the regular LP. Now this is just one piece. Every now and then I even think, but you know, why bother? Brown Eyed Girl is of course something that everybody knows. Who Drove the Red Sports Car? Something that I like. Well, so there's a lot of interesting songs on here. This is Van Morrison, and this one also just a little bit scratched, but this plays just like it should in the CD player, no problems playing it. So Van Morrison. Then we have The Commitments, Volume 2. Those of you who are watching my videos more often, I of course love the movie The Commitments. It is a very fun music, it has great music in there. There is a CD of course from the soundtrack, and there was more, and they put it on a volume 2. And this is a wonderful recording, very nice music on there. This is something, you know, like number 4, That's the Way Love Is. It's, you know, this is, just listen to it. This is nice. If you don't like it, well, listen to it on a streaming service, so it won't cost you anything. But for 75 cents, I am absolutely stoked that I have this in the collection now. And then something interesting happened. This one is a Dr. John. Of course, you may know Dr. John. I love Dr. John. I have seen him live once. Amazing performer. Remember, I said this is a 1 year into the pandemic. We have been in lockdown for a full year, and this was the first time I went to a shop. Shopping is something that I more or less have not done for a full year. This was the first time I found this in perfect condition, and just look at what the title is. I mean, this had to be the one that I had to pick up. Dr. John, Lockdown. After 1 year of lockdown, this is going to be in memory forever and ever as a reminder of what happened in 2020 and 2021. Also, this, if you look at the spine, if you know these paper jackets, they are always getting damaged very easily. But if you look at this is just something I did. These, if you pick up these things, you can always see that the corners are damaged because it is paper. This is the artwork inside. This is not damaged at all. Somehow somebody bought this, maybe somebody got it for free, never listened to it, and then somehow it ended up in the thrift store to be picked up by me. And this has never been played. This looks like it has never even been looked at. Nobody has ever opened this booklet. So this was a bit more expensive. This was €3, which is, if you ask me, the perfect CD to find in the thrift store after 1 year of lockdown. And just look at that. That's spanking clean. This has never been played. I'm sure that yesterday when I put it in, this was the first time that it has been played. And this is a very funky, very groovy CD. So if you have never heard this one, if you have never heard Dr. John, this might be something to give it a listen. And well, I like this music. This gets me up and dancing. So for today, I say thank you for watching. Let's celebrate a year of lockdown with this CD. Play it at your home, play this, and I guess I had to find this one. So give it a listen, and then I say thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.